The Smart Money Woman, Season 2. Welcome back. Welcome back, friends. Show of hands. Who here thought Season 2 was never coming? I thought so. Let's dive in.
Hey, honey.
Hey, sweetie. How's your day?
Fine, doing a little bit of shopping. And then I'm going out with the girls later for some drinks.
Shopping, eh? About that,
About what?
The accountant called me a bit concerned that you spent about 3 million naira in the last week. On what?
On shopping, my dear husband. Why? Is there a problem?
What exactly are you buying? We have everything.
But hey, please now, please don't be boring. I needed to change my wardrobe, you know this. But what's the point of having money if we never spend it? Or you don't want me to spend your money? You know what you are working for. Me, I'm not spending your money.
Okay, fair point. But please, relax on the crazy shopping, all right? I mean, the accountant keeps calling me worried. You know, money is finite.
Okay, fine, I've heard.
First, a moment of silence for Karibi Fubara, the one and only Bode. I found out he was no longer with us on that first episode and I felt it. In season 1, while I was bitching about the lack of chemistry between Zuri and Tsola, Bode and Ladun blew me away with theirs. While Adesuwa's marriage was the picture of what your average exploitative, abusive marriage is, Ladun and Bode's was a breath of fresh air. I remember being so surprised that they actually had something real and were happy together. I loved all their scenes, few as they were. Their characters were my favorite couples for sure. I felt their absence deeply this season. Karibi Fubara, you were the best, Bode, and I missed you this season. Ladun, wherever you are, you should know this season missed that extra spark that you bring, and nothing could fix that gaping hole. I missed you terribly, Ladun. Thanks to both of you for the brief moments of joy you brought to my life in season 1. Rest in peace, Karibi Fubara. Okay, bear with me for just a moment. I need to get this off my chest. I hate the editing this season. I hate the errors. I hate the missing voiceovers. I hate the focus on the fun, colorful bits at the expense of actual communication for the next text on screen. The editing was somehow equal parts impressive and deficient. And I got that sense throughout the season. Okay, I'm done. Episode 1, $200,000 annually. The second season opens with the girls looking too hot to handle at the beach while having a lazy Sunday. When each is introduced on screen, we're given a brief snapshot of their financial lives, their net worth, weaknesses, pitfalls, etc. Lara, we learn, earns 200,000 US dollars annually. That's about 332 million naira annually using 2024 exchange rates. According to one site, the average Nigerian earns 339,000 naira monthly, which is about 4 million naira annually. In dollars, the average Nigerian earns $204 monthly, which comes to $2,440 annually. According to Google again, currently $1 is equivalent to 1,660 naira. Lara is coming in at $200,000 annually. Average Nigerian weighing in at $2,448 annually. Lara earns 81 times what the average Nigerian earns annually. 81 times. 81 times. Guys, 81 times. Wallahi, that is insane. It's fucking nuts. Another article says the average salary in Nigeria in 2024 is 275,000 naira per month, which is about $165 monthly. That brings us to $1,980 annually. Compared to Lara's 200,000 annually, Lara earns 101 times what the average Nigerian earns in a year. 101 times. In 1 year, you can multiply the average Nigerian salary by 81 or 101, depending on whichever you prefer, to get what Lara earns. My God. In 1 month, Lara earns approximately $16,666. That's more than both estimates of what the average Nigerian earns in a year. In the fast 81 times instance, it takes the average Nigerian 81.6 months to earn what Lara earns in a month. Here's the math. In 1 month, the average Nigerian earns $204. How long will it take them to earn $16,666? Approximately 81 months to earn what Lara earns in a month. That's 6.75 years to earn what she earns in a month. Basically, 7 years to earn what Lara earns in a month. In the second 101 times instance, the average Nigerian earns $165 per month. How long will it take them to earn Lara's $16,666 per month? 101 months, which is 6.7 years to earn what Lara earns in a month. Almost 7 years to earn what Lara earns in a month. You know, I thought these writers had shown me everything, but it turns out I hadn't seen nothing. Why the hell would you focus on telling the stories of the literal 1%, talking about how they can get even more money? What the fuck is this? You know, I'm beginning to think of it as wickedness, advancing such narratives, centering these 1% types in a country in which 7 in 10 people are facing hunger, with women and girls disproportionately affected. Women and girls make up 63% of the hungry. Over 133 million people in Nigeria, mainly women and girls, are facing hunger. And they want to tell us about Birkin bag carrying, Mercedes-Benz driving, designer wearing women earning in millions, living the high flyer lifestyle, buying bags worth $10,000, drinking champagne poolside without a serious care in the world. That's wickedness, is it not? Talking about how to get this teeny tiny segment even more money, while people are facing hunger and starvation. Is that not wickedness? Centering the 1% was a choice, and a choice that reveals the wickedness buried deep in your heart. Actually, maybe not so deep. If someone's house is on fire and all you can think to talk about is how well your life and that of your fellow high flyers is going, you're wicked. Aggressively, astonishingly, unparalleled in your wickedness and lack of self-awareness. I hate to tack this little addendum here, but here we go.
But I know you, Lara. What do you want in exchange?
2%.
You might as well carry a gun and go and rob a bank. 2% is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money that I'll be making you when you get your final agreement in 6 months instead of 12. And with the terms that I've laid out, you're going to be making a lot more profit. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money, but it's definitely enough to motivate my hustle.
With the $25,000 we pay you monthly, I would argue that should be sufficient motivation.
Guys, this is before she gets her new job later in the season, where she's going to start earning, are you sitting down? $25,000 per month. Yeah, we're not even going to do the math with the 25K. Let's just stick to the 16K. No need to trigger a nervous breakdown. Yeah, Aressa and Cole, my opinion of you has hit a new low. Wow. Death to billionaires. In that brief intro, we're told Tami's pitfall is she wants to live like a billionaire but hasn't figured out how to earn like a billionaire. This show is obsessed with billionaires and becoming them.
He's here.
Beautiful ladies. First of all, let me just say welcome. Welcome. Thank you for accepting my humble invite. You know, I'm not a billionaire yet. Little I have. I like to men. My name is Bola. My friends call me Bobby, but you ladies can call me anything you like. Yes.
In season 1, Shola tells Zuri they'll make a millionaire of her yet. Bobby introduces himself to the girls by saying he's not a billionaire yet. And now we're told Tammy's problem is she wants to live like billionaires but hasn't figured out how to earn like billionaires yet. First of all, the idea that billionaires earn money, they don't. What amount of work can one do to justify earning $1 billion? As has been said, no one ever makes $1 billion. You take $1 billion. Now I have to talk about billionaires. Ugh.
The scale of $1 billion is really crazy. So let's say 1 grain of rice is equivalent to 100K, and 10 grains of rice would be then a million. Well, how much is a billion? So my Saturday night consisted of counting 10,000 grains of rice one by one, just to show you guys how much $1 billion is. Of course I filmed it, and of course I time-lapsed it, and this is playing at, I don't even know, God knows how fast it's playing at, but... So now I'm proud to present to you the results. That is $1 billion, where each grain of rice is worth 100K. Look how much rice this is, guys. That's crazy. I just bought you like a Lamborghini right here, and I didn't even notice it was gone. Here's a $5 million house in California, and oh look, I still have all this money. In my last video, I counted 10,000 grains of rice, where each grain of rice was $100,000. And that was to show you the scale of $1 billion. Well, a lot of you guys asked me, well, how much does Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos have in terms of rice? So that was my mission. I went to Target, I bought a digital food scale, I came home, and then I weighed the rice that was worth $1 billion from earlier. I did the math in my head, and I went to Costco. I got the rice, I brought it home, and once I brought it home, I went to work. I also want to say that I have 5 families that are going to take this unused rice, so it's totally not wasteful. Okay, so the moment you've been waiting for, 100K, 1 million, 1 billion, Jeff Bezos has 122 of these, or 58 pounds of rice, if each grain of rice was 100K. Like, look how big this is, guys. I'm gonna show you the scale here. I'm gonna put a keyboard in just for fun. Look how deep that goes. That's insane. This is Jeff Bezos' new house that's $145 million in LA. And then, oh my God. Last year, I showed you that if 1 grain of rice was $100,000, I showed you exactly how much Jeff Bezos had in rice. But move over, Jeff. There's a new king in town. Elon Musk is now the richest person. Forbes has his net worth at $195 billion, so I had to go to Costco, get more rice, and get to work. This is the craziest visualization I've ever done. So let's not forget this concept. This is $100,000, and in 2020, Elon had about $30 billion in net worth. As of last Friday, his net worth is now $195 billion, and that's how much rice this is. This is 93 pounds of rice if each grain of rice was $100,000. Look how big it is compared to my laptop. In a single year, he added more net worth than the entire net worth that Bill Gates is worth, which is $122 billion.
According to Forbes, here are the most common ways people become billionaires. 1 in 6 billionaires made their money in finance and investment, including bankers and fintech types. So, the people who bring us market crashes every few years. These people add no value to the economy. They just speculate and manipulate markets. Second, we have technology, your Bezos and Zuckerbergs and such. Exploiters of workers' labor extraordinaire. They pay poverty wages, forcefully buy out companies, trade in your data, basically earning money from shit they don't own and did not single-handedly make. The next group of billionaires comes from manufacturing. You don't need me to tell you that this is all about exploiting workers' labor. They don't work in those factories, but they take the lion's share of the wealth created. Fashion and retail coming forth. The people who daily bring us the horrors of sweatshops while also destroying the world through fast fashion. So that's the top 4 areas that produce billionaires, and all of them are characterized by exploiting workers and consumers, and in the case of the financial sector, adding little to no value to people's lives. In Nigeria, most, if not all the billionaires are linked to oil and mining. Among the top billionaires are Dangote, cement and oil, Danjubu, oil, Adenuga, telecommunications and oil, Rabiu, cement, Otedola, oil and power generation, and Folorunso Alakija, oil. Do you think the people actually involved in working in those cement and oil plants, the ones who do the actual backbreaking work, have that kind of money? No. Most of the time, what they have is money trouble and health problems related to that dirty work. The burning of fossil fuels is accelerating our rush to climate catastrophes globally. People who make their money from crude oil will not stop, even when it means certain death. And we know it means certain death. Still on climate change and the almost inevitable coming catastrophes, here's what billionaires are doing regarding climate change, according to Oxfam. In 2019, the super rich, the 1%, were responsible for more carbon emissions than 66% of humanity. That's 5 billion people. 1%. The 1% were responsible for more carbon emissions than 66% of humanity. 5 billion people. The emissions of the richest 1% will cause 1.3 million heat-related deaths between 2020 and 2030. They are also the most reluctant to make whatever changes are needed to keep their emissions low, such as retiring those private jets they insist on using. Drake reportedly took a flight that lasted less than 20 minutes. Kylie Jenner took one that was 17 minutes long and another that was an almost impressive 12 minutes long. In 2022, in the space of a few months, January 1st to July 19th, Taylor Swift flew her jet 170 times. Taylor alone, through her private jet, emitted 1,184 times more carbon than the average person emits in a year. Her team insists that it wasn't all her because she regularly loans it out. Either way, that is the impact of billionaires and the ultra wealthy. Only about 0.0008% of the world's population owns a private jet. Still, these private flights in 1 year accounted for the same emissions as all bus travel in the entire United States. So, a handful of people in private jets, the same emissions as an entire country's bus travel in a year. A person in a private jet emits 10 to 20 times as much carbon pollution as an entire commercial airline. This, while scientists are pleading with us to reduce emissions from the burning of fossil fuels or face near extinction. A 2019 Oxfam study found that in the last 10 years, 20 million people a year have been displaced from their homes, with climate change being the number one driver of this displacement. That's 20 million people displaced every year. As with all things climate change, low-income nations will bear the brunt of it, and poor people are more likely to be displaced. We're talking about countries like Nigeria, where these writers are busy glamorizing the lives of the 1% and stoking the fires of such desires in viewers. Over 2 million people have died because of extreme weather events in the last 50 years. Of those, 9 in 10 deaths were from developing countries. No need to remind you, Nigeria is a developing country. It is estimated that by 2050, the climate crisis will have caused 14.5 million deaths. No need to remind you that poorer nations will be disproportionately affected. Then there's the coming wars over food and water because of extremes like droughts and floods. As climate crises increase, so does hunger as food becomes scarce and prohibitively expensive, and so does the risk of conflict. The rich and their carbon-emitting lifestyles are an existential threat. We're in the Eat the Rich chapter of the life book, not the desiring to be billionaires chapter. These people then use this money they've taken from workers to influence government policies, not only in their governments but elsewhere. Look at Bill Gates, for example, influencing policy everywhere, from healthcare to education to agriculture, all areas he has no expertise in. How? Because he has money. Billionaires are scarred. They exercise undue control over our societies, invalidating the views of the rest of the people. We do not need more billionaires. We need less. We need power to go back to the hands of ordinary people. That's what we need. We need money to go to workers. We need the rich to stop influencing policy and to actually pay taxes so that public services like hospitals and schools are funded. That's what we need. Not more billionaires. There's also no way to be a good billionaire because if you were, you'd give it all away and not in bullshit philanthropy things for tax breaks and optics. Actual giving, the kind that leaves you with nothing but what you actually need. If I can find it, I'll link the story of the man whose family gave away all their money and became normal people. One study led by UC Berkeley researchers found that lower income people are more generous than wealthy people, and they donate a larger percentage of their income to charity than upper income people. Another experiment building on the above findings suggests that there's something about the specific psychological experience of having less that induces people to give more. There are no good billionaires, and billionaires are a literal existential threat. They do more harm than good. The world will be better when there are actually zero billionaires. Don't be deceived into looking up to them by narratives like these that paint them as hardworking philanthropic types. They're not. As you've seen, your average person is more generous than a billionaire. You're better off being a normal person. You will be a better human being. Yeah, that was a little longer than I expected. Onwards.
Please, can you tell Soji that SJ needs to be in bed by 7:30 latest, so he's not cranky in the morning?
She said that...
Mommy, please tell her that I heard the last 10 times.
Tell him I'm only trying to let him understand the importance of...
Whoa. I'm an old woman, don't stress me. You are out. I'm trying to help to take care of your own son.
Madam, you are taking care of your grandchild. And Soji is taking care of his son. I only agreed to this because I want peace and stability, not out of any form of respect for you or your son.
Adesuwa.
Look, I said it before, and I'm saying it again. SJ must be in bed by 7:30 latest. A repeat of what happened the last time will not be tolerated. Thank you.
I've never met a much more domineering woman. I mean, how did you put up with her? And I wonder why she's trying to control you and the time you spent with your son.
Jerry, Mommy, very much. It's okay. I know how to handle her. Mommy, Soji, might be no.
What happened? Who was that?
Who do you think?
Girl, you're a better woman than me. Honestly, your strength through this whole thing, incredible. And I still cannot wrap my head around the fact that you're letting your son spend the weekend with that bastard and that idiot.
Abi. Well, that one is their problem. Me, I'm moving on. Tired.
On children needing their fathers. Adesuwa takes a break from her little vacation to call Soji with instructions about how he used to care for SJ. Before we proceed, Adesuwa looks so good in that yellow outfit. All the girls are looking hot. Caliente, baby. Okay, back to Adesuwa and Soji. Soji's mom gives Adesuwa attitude and she gives it right back, which I love. The thing is, once Soji's mother hangs up, she begins to badmouth Adesuwa, asking Soji how he survived marriage to her. All this within SJ's hearing. They don't even care that he can hear them as they bitch about her. This valorization of the nuclear family and belief that children need their fathers is patriarchal bullshit. I've said this once, I've said it 100 times. Children do not need fathers. Patriarchy tries to convince us that children need fathers and women need men. But as someone once said, Women need men like a fish needs a bicycle. The same stands for children. Children do not need men. They do not need fathers. They don't need blood relatives. They need people who will love and care for them, protect and teach them to care for other people and nature. They need people who will give them the freedom to be children, the space to be themselves thereafter. That's what children need. They need love and caring from loving and caring adults. A trans person on TikTok once said one of the reasons straight parents have such a problem with their LGBTQ plus kids is because they went out and made loving families, proving families in blood, that you don't need to be accepted by your blood, that it isn't the end of the world if they don't. LGBTQ plus people who have survived by creating loving families and communities prove there's nothing special about the nuclear unit, that in fact there are better ways to organize society than that hierarchical, dominance based, exploitative, often abusive structure. The abusive patriarchal structure that is the nuclear family is why I'm convinced children do not need men and in fact fare better without them in their lives. Men only embody those kinds of dominant, aggressive beliefs, and that's what children learn from them. The kinds of men patriarchy produces cause more harm than good in the lives of children. Those two, Soji and his mother, do not care about SJ. If they did, they wouldn't speak that way in his hearing about his primary caregiver who actually loves, cares for, and provides for him. We need to dispense with this rigid patriarchal idea of what a family is, and by extension, what or who children need in their lives. What value does Soji add to SJ's life? He's not a caring present parent. He's a total fun times type that had the gumption to clear his wife's account, leaving nothing, even for his kid. That is a man who has no business being anywhere near a kid. A man who can run off with his mistress while snatching the food right out of his kid's mouth is actually a danger to the child. An inconsistent father is worse than an absent father. As one person said, an absent father breaks your heart once. An inconsistent father continues to hurt you indefinitely. Children need structure and stability. Soji is nonsense. Children don't need that. Abolish the family. More power to the LGBTQ plus community who continue to pioneer different ways of living and being.
But you know ain't gonna be impossible. You give me space to be on my own. Girl, you the type of girl.
Gbadegbo, Banke, and useless Platitudes. Banke's banging this new guy, Dimeji, who is Shola's friend. I like his name. Her husband, who I despise, but whose name I like, Gbadegbo, is going through a lot this season. His wife is banging his friend, and she's not even discreet. His businesses are still in a bad place. He ain't got no money in the bank. Ooh, he ain't got no money in the bank. Ooh. Anyway, Banke is especially mean to him this season, especially in public. It sucks, but I don't care about him. I don't feel sorry for him. To me, he's like your average black man, struggling with patriarchy and colorism. So you get you a hot, light-skinned woman, so everyone can see what you can pull. You get a trophy. You get you a trophy wife, a status symbol to go with all your money. That's why Gbadegbo got Banke. It was purely because she's hot and light-skinned, and she was in it for the money. That was the deal. She was to bring the light skin sexy and he the money to keep her in that baby girl lifestyle. He dropped the ball on his end, effectively invalidating the terms of their agreement. From there on out, she is free to get that baby girl lifestyle from whoever is willing to give it to her. Good for her. When he starts holding up his end of the deal, they can renegotiate terms. Until then, there's no contract in play. Banke belongs to the rich streets of Lagos. Me, I hate men. Rich, poor, I don't care. But if that's what Banke wants, I stay supporting her. Stay safe out there. And do you, boo?
Get back
fine babes. Why can't they London for winter? Don't come here since. Well, you know my motto, boys. Work hard, play hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't lie, man. These days, even play feels like stress to me. Like this Sunday thing, the wife definitely forced it down my throat. Left to me, I'd rather be in my study figuring out how to solve my problems, man.
The problems you're trying to avoid is waiting for you back home when you get back there. So, hey.
I am drowning. At this point, I don't know which I'm more afraid of. The wife's ever-increasing demands or the bank crawling up my ass with interest payments.
I beg. These your hands, they depress me. But I get it, Sha. Lagos is tough.
Yeah, and tough is an understatement. It's like I wake up to new problems every day.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing for certain, my friend. It's a season. It will pass. Bounty pass. It's $100 million theme fund. Dimeji, would you keep quiet? Why'd you like to act like you don't make money?
Gbadegbo, Dimeji, and Shola are talking money. That is how much Shola is killing it with investors and how much trouble Gbadegbo is in. Shola is proper killing it. He recently got $100 million for this film fund project he's working on. That's $100 million US dollars, to be clear, US dollars. Anyway, after Gbadegbo finishes whinging about his deplorable financial situation, Shola says, quote, "Let me tell you one thing for certain, my friend. It's a season and it will pass." End quote. How do you know that? Where are you coming up with these things? There are people who go broke or lose their money and never recover. In fact, that's a more common outcome after losing money than bouncing back and recovering. There are few things I hate as much as I hate these positive thinking platitudes. No, you do not know that I'll be fine. No, you do not know whether this will pass, whatever it is, whether it's a financial down slump or an illness. You don't know that. So don't tell me it will pass or it will be well. Just wish me the best and leave it at that. These sorts of nonsense statements are especially bad when they come from rich people. Like, listen, so many of our problems can be solved with money, with a cash injection. If it's a problem that can be solved with money, money that you have and can potentially afford to give me, but you're not giving it to me, you're better off keeping your flappy lips zipped than telling me some nonsense about it will pass. Fuck that. Shola has access to all kinds of investors. Heck, I think he may be rich enough to help Gbadegbo restructure things. Instead, he's offering useless platitudes. Listen, I know money things are complex, and maybe Gbadegbo isn't open to it, which I doubt, or whatever the issue may be. Still, Shola is in an actual position to help instead of spouting platitudes about it. He's basically just saying Soros prayers instead of helping. Keep your thoughts and motherfucking prayers.
Hello? Hi. Is she awake? Please, can you just make sure that she takes her drugs? I'm going to call you back in 30 minutes just to make sure, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you.
She looks so stressed.
I mean, who wouldn't be? How much is that going to cost?
10 million.
10 million.
Yes,
10 million. It's so easy for you to mouth off 10 million and nothing ever works. Nothing ever works.
No, we're doing our best.
No, you're not doing your best. If you were doing your best, you would be well.
Lara's financial woes. From the beginning, this show has had this unhealthy obsession with showing us how Lara's family is a total liability in her life. They're terrible people. Her mother is abusive, her brother is a total user, and worst of all, for this show, they drain her financially. Now, her mother has gone and become sick, the conniving bitch. It's cancer, and she's been sick for a while, on chemo for a while. So Lara has spent quite a bit of money on this. I wasn't feeling sorry for her or whatever, because I was like, babe, you earn approximately $200,000 a year. You can pay for cancer treatment. Your net worth, held in cash, real estate, stocks, and bonds, is $300,000. You can pay for cancer treatment. Then I wondered, am I overestimating how much it takes to treat cancer in Nigeria? Am I being a total meanie to this poor little rich oil and gas girl? One estimate online has it that it costs approximately 30 million naira per patient to treat cancer. Let's say they underestimated it and it's twice that. So 60 million naira over a few months or even years. 60 million naira is approximately $36,000. So treatment would cost between $18,000 and $36,000. That's just 2 months' salary for Lara. The girl has assets worth $300,000. She just needs 10% of that to treat her mom. Come on. I don't understand why this is stressful for her. For an average person, yes. For her, no. I don't understand this financial crisis. Okay, alright. Allowing for the possibility that her mother was getting one of those specialized treatments where a single injection can cost anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000, maybe it really is draining her. The thing is, where I'm currently at, I don't feel sorry for rich people. And I don't feel sorry for men. I don't have it in me. I do not have the capacity to feel sorry for them. You have too much going for you. Far too much. And there are far too many people more deserving of my worry and concern for me to worry about you. Plus, rich people and men have no shortage of people ready to run to their side at a moment's notice. You'll be alright. You don't need me on your team of concerned people. I'm out. Stay safe out there. Concerning Lara's mother, I'd also like to add, I will always remember her as an abuser. I don't know if the film is attempting to do a rebrand of her from an abuser to a decent struggling single mother, or if it's Lara in her grief is selectively remembering the good parts. Let's go with the possibility that it's Lara's selective memory because of grief. Assuming that's the case, I'm going to remember for her that her mother was abusive to her, took advantage of her, aided and abetted her reckless brother while he misused her money. I'm not going to forget that. I also considered the possibility that maybe it's not a rebrand by the authors or selective memory by Lara, but rather evidence that she was a person of depth, that she wasn't just this one thing I saw in season 1. Assuming that's the case, that she was a character with depth, it doesn't change the fact that I still think she was an abuser. A deeply fleshed out character who was abusive to her kid.
How are you feeling?
The same, my dear.
The doctor says that we're getting a little better, but they want us to do another round of chemo.
I'm tired, Lara. I can't do chemotherapy anymore. Look at all the bills and responsibilities I've left you with. I'm going millions, don't pay Lajajuma. You can't allow me to drain you of all you've worked for.
One of the things that infuriated me and saddened me all at once was the talk about Lara's mother's bills draining her. Lara's mother herself says she doesn't want to drain Lara. The girls contribute to the burial costs, and if I had to guess, the hospital costs as well. Yet in all that time, as they talk about how heavy this financial burden is for Lara, they never once, even in passing, mention the fact that healthcare should be free. They don't even in passing consider how much harder this is for most people who earn less than 10% of what Lara earns. Why don't they wonder how other people, the majority of their countrymen, would pay for it? Is it a lack of curiosity, a lack of concern for others, short-sightedness that makes the poor invisible? What is it? How does none of them even wonder about it? Like, that is so sad. Normal people, when talking about how heavy a burden is, how draining the bills are, would remark about how much harder it must be for ordinary people. Normal people would. This is so fucking sad.
That's not even doing this to me right now, guys. Between my mother's medical bills, I can't even... It's completely draining me out. I'm literally at the point where I'm considering liquidating some assets. Huh? And I haven't been paid my salary in 4 months, and I have no idea. Tochi's not saying anything about when I might get paid. Because this is bullshit. I have bills to pay.
You know what? I have been thinking about this As well, we need multiple streams of income. We can't depend on one salary, it's dangerous.
Yeah, in this economy, there's no job security.
So I've been thinking about this for some time, and I want you ladies to let me know what you think. So what if we put our monies together and we now buy some apartment units in Ogiso Towers? We'll own it jointly, and then we'll rent it out for income.
What do they talk about though? What do they choose to talk about when the subject of heavy bills comes? And this matters. They talk about the importance of multiple streams of income. Zuri, in response to Lara's healthcare related troubles and the fact that her salary has not been paid for 4 months, says they need multiple streams of income. My God, I know it's a personal finance show, but it's not happening in a vacuum. This story is set in present day Nigeria and all that comes with that. Yet they ignore it. Actually, they don't ignore it as such. They choose what to focus on and settle on rich millionaire, billionaire types. Zuri presents the idea of buying housing units and renting them out for financial stability. She proposes becoming landlords. Landlords. Like billionaires, landlords are a scourge and they need to be abolished. I once read this thread by a landlord on Twitter. In it, he talked about this tenant who had lived in one of his apartments for years. Every month, she'd be late on rent, and so she'd have to pay late fees along with her rent. A few years later, she got married, and they had children, and moved into a bigger unit, and kept paying late fees with their rent. He bragged about the number of houses that woman had bought him with her rent and late fees. I think it was 2 houses before she finally moved. Landlords take advantage of the fact that housing is a necessity to exploit people by jacking up the prices however they want. Landlords justify excessively high rents by claiming they are paying their mortgages, property taxes, maintenance costs, and such. The truth is, landlords reap record profits from their extraordinary rent hikes. Struggling landlords is a grave mischaracterization of things. Landlords can charge whatever they want and blame it on the market while reaping high profits. Some landlords actually put nothing down and use rent to pay their mortgage, which in essence means the tenants buy them the house, which they go on to make more money from. What is this? What is that if not theft and exploitation? To further illustrate the way landlords operate, let's use an example from this actual show.
I mean, I totally get it. When my dad lost his job, I had to switch schools for a while. Well, after some time, we were able to save up some money, move out of the country, but we still had to stay with my aunts until we got back on our feet. I had to switch schools, change everything. You're not going to mess up my grades, you know now. But long story short, I got into uni, studied finance, had the 4.0 GPA, but I just kept it in the back of my mind that I did not want to lose everything just the same way my parents did. So when I got my first paying job, I started saving heavy on properties. But you know, I couldn't just do it all by myself. So I called some of my girls. I said, let's do this thing together. So we went ahead and bought our first property on a discount after the housing market crashed. Flipped it, and then I got another one.
Wow.
So, you know, this thing is not just all about taking advantage of the market. It's really about leveraging on your network.
Zuri bumps into this old friend of hers at her boss's office, so they set up a date. On the date, the friend talks about how she recovered after some financial hardships in her family. She tells Zuri that real estate is easily one of the best industries to build wealth in these days. She says when she got her fast-paying job, she started saving heavily in order to buy property. Then she pooled resources with her girls and they bought their first property together on a discount after the housing market crashed. They flipped it and bought another, and so a hustle was born. Did you get the part where other people's misfortune was their blessing as they got the house cheaply? How is this something to brag about? People were losing their houses, their homes, and you were profiting from their suffering and calling that a smart business move. This is landlords. They're cannibals, vultures, a blight on humanity. Landlords are the reason housing in so many cities is unaffordable. Landlords and speculators are the reason rent is at a record high in many cities. People who use housing, a basic need, to exploit people and price gouge are people we do not need in any decent society. Zuri and Co. may be targeting high income tenants so they are not exploiting low income people. Still, the presence of landlords in any society is a net negative. As long as a basic need, like housing, is made a function of market forces for landlords to price as they see fit, we will never solve the housing crisis many cities are facing. A system where housing is a way for developers, lenders, and landlords to make money is one that will never concern itself with meeting people's needs. The pursuit of profit will always be prioritized over people's needs. So landlords must go. They exploit tenants and uphold an exploitative system that places profits over people. No more landlords. No more landlords.
Are all the bottles done?
We have two more left.
Just these two. I want everything out. I don't want anything remaining. Nothing should be left. Can I help you?
What have I done now?
Who was that girl you were talking to?
Babe, I've spoken to so many girls today. We're going to have to be specific. You're upset about that?
No, I just don't like the confusion. Today we're exclusive, tomorrow you're going about. It's not working for me, Ochiko.
Well, since you brought it up, I've been meaning to discuss that with you.
Discuss what with me?
The possibility of exploring other options.
Excuse you?
I just don't feel like, we should be tying ourselves down right now. Maybe we need to spice up our relationship.
Open relationships. We meet Tami's hot cousin, the one who's throwing the pool party they're all at. She's dating this guy who's busy flirting with other chicks. He later tells her that he wants to move from an exclusive to an open relationship. He says he doesn't think they should be tying themselves down. Says he thinks they need to spice up their relationship. Number 1. Someone who can't be trusted to be faithful when you've agreed to be exclusive is not someone you need to be in any kind of relationship with, much less an open relationship. They are untrustworthy, unfaithful, dishonest, disrespectful. Why would you want to have any kind of relationship with them? Number 2. Shifting from exclusive to open is not the solution for a partner's unfaithfulness. Number 3. Women are not some kind of animated sex toy that you use to spice up your relationship. We do not use people like that. He says they need to open up their relationship to spice it up. Fuck that. Women are not sex objects. If you're going to approach a woman, you better be interested in more than her genitalia. If all you want is a place to stick your dick, the Chinese have toys for that. Women are people. And if you're going to approach them for a relationship, approach them as such. African ambition. One of the things that pissed me off about the editing compared to last time was the speed with which the text disappeared. And this time, there was even no voiceover in the event that it was all moving too fast. Anyway, here's one of the texts that barely flashed across the screen. Quote, I don't want to fix my spending triggers. I'd like to earn in a currency that allows me to afford them. End quote. Something about it left me so uneasy, and at first I couldn't say why. I just knew I didn't like it, even as a light-hearted joke type statement. There's this resignation, with many believing that the only way to earn decent money is to earn in a foreign currency. For many people, it's not a resignation, it's almost gleeful. Arese and smart money types are here. It's disheartening how we've just embraced imperialism and white supremacy as represented by those foreign companies that come to pay in dollars and euros. A good number of those foreign companies and international organizations, including NGOs, are a net negative. You have conservancies that displace people from their land, NGOs that function mainly as tax break havens for billionaires, consultancies that push policies that destroy communities, international companies like Coca-Cola that take and exploit resources like water, leaving the locals at a loss, and so on. There's a reason it is widely accepted that more often than not, the more you earn, the more harmful your job is, or at the very least, the more unnecessary your job is. We are not a society that is known for rewarding and compensating people based on the value of their labor or its positive impact on people's lives. When I see white people and their international organizations, all I see is imperialism, exploitation, white supremacy. White people have never harbored good intentions where black people are concerned. If they're coming to you, they've seen something they can take. They've identified a way to exploit you. You think you're winning by earning in dollars, yet more often than not, your nation, your people are losing so much more. Consider Coca-Cola taking up water resources and aquifers all over black and brown people's countries, leaving locals to be water insecure. Then they bottle the water and sell it back to the people. What does it matter if the top brass earn in dollars? What does it matter? At what cost? What is the value of working at McKinsey and earning in dollars while they advise governments to enact policies that destroy the lives of the ordinary people? White people will never give you more than they take. Voiceover poverty trap. Here's something that's supposed to be a voiceover but is reduced to mere text on screen, while the audio that's supposed to be there is missing. Quote, an unquenchable desire to succeed, a never-ending quest to escape the poverty trap. But in spite of our obstacles, we create, we build, we are resilient. And no matter the obstacles, we've learned to suffer and smile, because it's the African way to find a way. End quote. First, there's nothing African about any of that. That's just a description of the human condition under capitalism. I hate this immediate linking of African with poverty. That is white supremacy at work. The way we've learned to associate Africa with the worst of things, with struggle, suffering. Africa is so much more. I feel like every time this show invokes Africa, it is in relation to struggle and suffering. Second, I hate that phrase, a never-ending quest to escape the poverty trap. I hate it because I know they don't mean trap as a product of systemic, near inescapable factors. I hate it because it has implicit in it this idea that it's some kind of solo quest. Meanwhile, this is not something we can win as individuals. If you win it at an individual level, you become these girls. Selfish, materialistic, shallow, incurious, with zero situational awareness. You become Lara, losing the wealth you have accumulated in hospital fees and still not calling it a systemic problem. What we need is for everyone to realize this is not a solo fight. We need systemic changes. We need free healthcare everywhere. We need affordable housing. We need dignified, well-paying jobs. We need free education. We need public services that work. That's what we need. Even as you work to meet your needs, the ever-present understanding guiding you should be none of us is free until all of us are free. The quest to escape poverty will be unending as long as we don't realize that solving our common problems is solving all our problems. You can't be free alone. Otherwise, you become a Lara. If healthcare works for everyone, you don't have to be Lara rich for your parent to survive. And even if you're Lara rich, you don't have to be burdened with that financial stress. These are the problems we share. It makes sense to solve them together rather than to try and solve huge systemic problems individually. That's why I hate the messaging in this show. It's all look out for number one, accumulate for you, escape poverty for yourself, without considering that maybe a better plan is to solve the problems we all have in common once and for all. If nothing else, it is more efficient to join forces to solve a problem rather than everyone working individually in their own corner. There's a reason we, as African people, have a million proverbs about the power of unity, of working together. We are Ubuntu people. Our well-being is tied in with the well-being of our community. Remember that. Don't let capitalism and shows like this erase that awareness in you.
I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am grateful to have an awesome life. I earn money by doing what I love. I deserve the best. I'm 32. I pay my bills. I don't owe anybody. I have some investments, but sometimes I wonder when exactly am I going to be able to earn enough money to afford the real lifestyle I deserve?
Zuri's affirmations. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them with the fire of 1,000 suns. Anyway, here's Zuri's affirmation. I am healthy, I am wealthy. Okay, I should say it better. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am grateful to have an awesome life. I earn money by doing what I love. I deserve the best. I'm 32, I pay my bills, I don't owe anybody, I have some investments, but I sometimes wonder when exactly am I going to be able to earn enough to afford the lifestyle I deserve. First, affirmations are gaslighting yourself. Maybe not in Zuri's case. All that shit is true for her. For most people, I am wealthy is gaslighting yourself. I am grateful to have an awesome life is gaslighting yourself. I earn money by doing what I like is gaslighting yourself. I don't owe anybody is a lie. Actually, that's a lie for everyone. We owe each other financially and otherwise. Second, Zuri's affirmations that are true in her case are so dense, lacking all situational awareness. You're in a country, a continent of majority poor people, bragging about your health and wealth. You're telling people who despise their jobs that they have to do or die that you earn money by doing what you love. Like, who do the writers think is watching this show? Nothing about how lucky she is to at least balance out all that bragging. Just, I pay my bills, I have no debts, I have investments. Wow, Zuri, we get it. You're not like us. You're not like us. We get it. We interrupt normal programming to add some nuance, I guess. I suppose there are people out there for whom affirmations are beneficial. Do you, I guess. My problem is this relentless positive thinking we have going stands in the way of us seeing our situation for what it really is. We're in serious trouble as a society. Every day, wars and rumors of wars, people dying in floods while others are killed by drought. Fascism is making the comeback of its life. It's a lot. Yet people look into the mirror and declare that their lives are wonderful and so on. That things will be okay. If we just stopped with all the self deception, we'd see how dire things are and maybe we'd act. That's why I hate all these positive thinking things. They keep us from facing the truth and making the changes we desperately need. Yeah, I thought I was going to do devil's advocate affirmations against myself, but I couldn't. I guess in the final analysis, Inami says if you like affirmations and positive thinking, you're low key holding us back. There it is. That's what Inami really thinks. Bummer. Resuming regular programming. Third, I deserve the best. I deserve the best? Wow. First of all, no, you don't deserve the best. You deserve whatever other ordinary people deserve because even you are an ordinary motherfucker, Zuri. How do you arrive at you deserve the best? What is it about you that has you convinced you deserve the best and everyone else doesn't? And no, don't tell me she didn't say other people don't deserve the best. When you say I deserve the best, you're necessarily implying it's something about you. Maybe you're thinking about how hard you work, how smart you are with money, or whatever. But when you say I deserve the best, you're implying it has something to do with who you are. Anyway, no one will ever say it better than Asla K. Gwyn. In the dispossessed and ambiguous utopia, Asla writes, quote, "For we each of us deserve everything, every luxury that was ever piled in the tombs of the dead kings. And each of us deserve nothing, not a mouthful or bread in hunger. Have we not eaten while another starved? Will you punish us for that? Will you reward us for the virtue of starving while others ate? No man earns punishment. No man earns reward. Free your mind of the idea of deserving, the idea of earning, and you will begin to be able to think." End quote. We deserve nothing and we deserve everything. Free your mind of the idea of deserving, the idea of earning, and you will begin to think. Zuri age panic. Zuri's out with this old friend she just reconnected with. Her friend's like, "Look at you, you're thriving in your sector and everything." Zuri says, "I guess." The friend's like, "What you mean you guess?" Then Zuri says, well, she's happy with how she's building her career. She's in her 30s and needs to figure out how she's going to get to the next level and make more money. Major sigh. No, seriously, what are we doing here? At what level do people calm down and enjoy what they have without reaching their grabby little hands for more? Zuri has a great job that she enjoys and that has great pay. She has investments. She has a boyfriend and great friends. She's healthy. She's hot as hell with a fire ass to boot. At what point do you just stop desperately reaching for more? What is this desperation about? What is the audience, who are not the 1%ers like Zuri, supposed to do with this? If with all this, she's still anxious about getting to the next level and desperate to make more money, what is this sin saying to you and your poor ass? What's the point? Is it to shame you? Is it to motivate you to want more? What's the idea here? Then what's with the age pressure? I'm 32, blah blah blah. 35% of Nigerians in your age bracket are unemployed or underemployed, and I'm certain that's a conservative estimate. What is this unnecessary age pressure? Are people not under enough pressure, as it were? What is this obsession we have with age? It's just a fucking number. Can we stop, please? crypto scam. You hear a lot about how capitalists and capitalism's apologists are cutthroat, dog eat dog types, and occasionally you may think, it's maybe not that bad. Areso Ugu has lain the wickedness of capitalists and their apologists bare to me. The show spent significant time promoting some cryptocurrency app to their viewers. Let's talk about their viewers. 7 in 10 people, that's 133 million people in Nigeria, are facing hunger. 63% of them, women and children. 35% of Nigerian youth are unemployed or working less than 20 hours a week. 28% of the workforce is officially recognized as underemployed. Minimum wage in Nigeria is 65,000 naira per month, and the average salary is 275,000 naira per month. These are the people watching the show. Unemployed or underemployed young people. If they're working and they're lucky, they're probably earning something around the average salary. It's people who are either at risk of hunger or know someone who is. Precarious people who likely, desperately need to make more money. To these people who cannot afford to play losing games with money, they are marketing a crypto app as a way to make more money. Crypto. Crypto is so volatile, so risky that Business Insider encourages people who are afraid of losing 5 to 20% in a few hours to avoid cryptocurrency. This describes their audience to a T. These are people who cannot afford to lose. Aside from being extremely volatile, crypto has few regulations and oversight, so cases of artificially inflated prices are common. There are no consumer protections, plus, crypto is rife for potential misuse because of its anonymous nature, which makes it attractive for illicit activities. Investors are often advised not to invest in things they don't understand, and blockchain, the technology underpinning crypto, is complex and beyond the average person's understanding. There's a high risk of loss due to user error because the individual user is entirely responsible for the security of their funds. Crypto is a relatively new asset, and so its long-term viability is yet to be proven. Plus, investing in crypto means you're not investing your money elsewhere in other proven options like real estate, stocks, and bonds. Finally, crypto mining requires significant amounts of energy, and so a lot of greenhouse gas emissions are associated with it. It heavily relies on fossil fuels, with coal accounting for 45%, natural gas 21%, and renewables like solar and wind providing only 2 and 5% of the total energy used, respectively. This is disastrous while we're trying to reduce emissions to stave off climate catastrophe. Beyond that, Bitcoin mining also has a worrying impact on water and land use. A study published by the United Nations University found that in 2020-2021, the global Bitcoin mining network consumed enough energy to be ranked the 27th country in the world consumption-wise, ahead of Pakistan, which has a population of over 230 million people. The water consumed cooling the servers in the same period was enough to meet the current domestic water needs of more than 300 million people living in rural sub-Saharan Africa. Let's talk about the likelihood of making money through crypto. I'll give you a second to guess the percentage of people who lose money via crypto investing. Okay, second over. 3 out of 4 Bitcoin investors have lost money. That's 75%. Another study actually has it at 80% of the people who invest in crypto lose. What we are learning here is the vast majority of people who invest in crypto lose. They lose bigly. There is no reason for the average person to get into crypto. It's too volatile and it's terrible for the environment. Even if we go by volatility and risk alone, it is irresponsible and borderline wicked for the writers to market such an app to vulnerable, precarious people as a way of making money on the side. Do better. I'm so sad. In closing, this show makes me so sad. People like Aresu Ugu and their whole hustle hard, chase the bag, personal responsibility shtick make me so sad. Out here talking about some first world problems when people in Nigeria are starving, homeless, unemployed, when children are out of school, and presently the world is dying. Sudan, Congo, Palestine, climate change. Meanwhile, we're talking about $10,000 bags. We're talking about the problems of girls earning $200,000 annually with $300,000 in assets. Chance the Rapper talks about something like that. The first world problems we focus on while ignoring the actual real shit happening. In first world problems, he raps, I'm just gonna keep rapping and y'all just keep clapping and keep acting like Flint got clean water and y'all done got teen daughters and black friends and gay cousins. Y'all just gonna say nothing. The entire show is captured in those 4 lines. I'm just gonna keep rapping and y'all just keep clapping and keep acting like Flint got clean water and y'all done got teen daughters and black friends and gay cousins. Y'all just gonna say nothing. Y'all just gonna say nothing. The entire show, I was just thinking, y'all really just gonna say nothing. It's fucking sad. Anyway, friendly reminder to all of us. We can't hustle our way out of capitalism, out of policies designed to kill us, out of bad governance. We can't hustle our way out of that. You can't hustle your way out of that. Suppose you're one of the Zuris and Laras and you can. At what cost? We win when we fight together. This lookout for number one thing that the show is promoting, it makes you a terrible person, willing to take advantage of other people to get ahead, blind to the lives and the suffering of the people all around you. Find a group of people who care about the world, who care about people, who care about life and nature, and join them in the struggle for the liberation of life and mankind from all sorts of oppression. Take time to educate yourself and read about the many different ideas people have had about how we could live with each other in better ways that prioritize our well-being and freedom and creativity. Ways that prioritize our individual and collective humanity. The problems we're facing are not going to be solved by your independent hustle. Big things are here. They're on their way. Fascism, neoliberalism, climate change. You're not going to beat these things alone. You will not survive them alone. Right now, we need community more than ever. Real community, not this smart money tribe bullshit. We don't have to live like this. It does not have to be like this. Life can be good. For all of us, it can. You have to believe that. And then you have to join people who believe that and are fighting for it. I've got to go. Power to the people. All power to all people. Black power to black people. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, remember who you are. Love life, love people, and stay limited.